Hey folks, welcome to Business Law 103 and a series of lectures on talking torts. Today we're going to be talking about torts. But before we get into torts, Easter is coming up this Sunday, or it depends on when you're watching it, maybe last Sunday or maybe last month. Anyway, it's very interesting to determine when Easter's going to be. Now remember, Easter happened on the Jewish festival of the Passover when Jesus was in Jerusalem. The Jewish festival of Passover is based on the Jewish calendar, which is a lunar calendar. A lunar calendar does not fit well into the solar calendar which we use today. So that's why you find Jewish holidays and any other holidays based on a lunar calendar jumping all over the solar calendar. Like, for example, Hanukkah is early December to late December. Well, Easter, since it's based on Passover, jumps all over. This year, it's on the 13th of April, or actually the 12th of April. How do you determine that? Easter is based on the first Sunday after the first full moon, after the vernal equinox. The vernal equinox is the spring equinox when the sun is halfway between its lowest point and its highest point. So therefore, that's when you determine when Easter is. The first Sunday after the first full moon, after the vernal equinox. It's pretty late this year. It can be as late as in the middle of April and be as early April. Anyway, for those of you that like the cultural enlightenments, there's another one that we have. The rest of you, don't worry about it. It's not going to be on a test, for example. Anyway, we're going to talk torts today, and we're coming to you live from the Hawaiian Airlines broadcast booth in the studios of WCLG. Today, the weather in Lahaina, Maui is a delightful 79 degrees, going up to 81 or 82. So it's beautiful, and may be nicer if you would go there instead of having to stay here in this somewhat cloudy and dingy weather that we're having. Anyway, let's talk about torts. The tort, as you probably remember from reading the introduction in the chapter, is the French word for wrong. Torts is the word that we use to describe the area of law that people use to get compensated for damages done to them, either intentionally or unintentionally. The word came over from England. It was brought to England by the Anglo-Saxon conquerors and has been with us in the law ever since. What it means is that that's the system of compensating people for wrongs done to them by money damages. In the American system of law, the way that we compensate people for wrongs done to them is by money, not by apologies, not by striking off heads or arms or cutting out eyes. It's by money damages. And that's the basis of the tort system in the United States. Now, when I say damages, what kind of damages do I mean? The first are compensatory damages. Now, compensatory damages are damages for actual costs. When you run into somebody's car, you have to pay for the damage to the car, for fixing up the car or getting them a new car. You may have to pay for actual medical expenses. Those are called compensatory damages. Another kind of damages are called general damages. That's A-G-E-S. My writing hasn't improved since I got out of the classroom. Those are non-monetary damages. Even though we change them into money when we're giving them to the plaintiff if they get their damages, these are non-monetary damages. For example, pain and suffering is a general damage. All right? Now, once in a great while, people will get punitive damages. Punitive damages are damages to punish the defendant for some wrongdoing. Now, if you remember back to contract law, we talked about punitive damages. In California, you never get punitive damages for a breach of a contract. But in tort, you sometimes can get punitive damages as a punishment. Now, it's very rare. Do not expect to get punitive damages very often. You only get them once in a great while in law cases. Now, there are two types of torts. There are intentional torts, those that are caused by someone's intent. Either they knew or they should have known what the consequences of their actions are. And the second type of torts are negligence. Negligence is where somebody did not adhere to their duty that they owed to somebody else. And in the next few lectures, we're going to talk about intentional torts and negligence. Thanks. We'll see you next time.